package was huge. Initially, I was very happy. I thought that now I'm getting all the money. Nowadays, no need, I will not need anything else. All the 4 years of my college, I worked for it and then I got it.
तो बाकी कैसे चल रहा था? हाउ वर यू प्रिपेयर? क्योंकि उस साल मुझे याद है प्रीलिम्स पे शिफ्ट हो रहा था बार बार.
Everyday questions that Next IAS team gives on the channel, Telegram channels. In some issues, I did not refer to it whole, but in some issues, when I wanted some questions, I referred to it, and the teachers were. You were available all the time. Ruchika ma'am was available all the time. Even B. Singh sir gave me a very personal mentorship as well. He asked me to his office. So this was my experience with Next IAS.
So many congratulations, Sanskriti. I'm actually happy with some people you get attached emotionally. You were one of them in the last couple of years.
Thank you, sir.
Had been interacting. Many congratulations that you have qualified and the journey is now concluded and concluded very happily.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, thank you for all the guidance and the continuous support that you have given since last 3 or 4 years.
Always welcome. You are always welcome. So just to introduce Sanskriti to all of you, Sanskriti has scored 49th rank in this year's CSE exam, and she had PSIR as her optional. And Sanskriti is from IIT Varanasi, and electronics engineering was her graduation degree. And somehow we have been connected, me and Sanskriti, for some time. We have been exchanging our own messages. Sanskriti was connected to Next IAS. She had been an essay student, GS, MTS, and so on. So Sanskriti has, first of all, tell me, how is the atmosphere around you? Must have been very hectic in the last 3-4 days.
And I've not been able to sleep properly since the result came. So everyone is the whole town, because I'm the first IAS from the town, maybe from the district. So everyone is very happy here.
पूरी भीड़ हो गई होगी फिर तो, है ना, मीडिया से लेकर रिश्तेदार तक.
Yes, sir, बहुत ज़्यादा. And father is in social work, so a lot of people from that arena also.
Right. So how did the journey begin, Sanskriti? How did you think about becoming IAS?
Sir, actually, if I talk about subconsciously, I think it began a long ago because of my birth in this family. My whole family is into social service.
Okay.
But then when I was working in Goldman Sachs as a software developer, so the package was huge. Initially, I was very happy. I thought that now I'm getting all the money. Nowadays, no need, I will not need anything else. All the 4 years of my college, I worked for it and then I got it. But then after 6 months, I was tired of spending money. Like, it was not giving me any happiness. So I realized, I introspected what I've done all my life, which has given me happiness, for which I've left out all other things, even parties and everything. So it was one common thing, that working for others. For example, in college, I worked for increasing women participation in sports, for infrastructure development in the IIT BHU campus, because it was a older college, but a newer IIT. Then I worked for environment awareness campaigns in my hometown. So all those things were summed up, and then it led me to UPSC.
Okay. And when was your first attempt, Sanskriti?
Sir, it was a 2020 attempt, sir.
All between COVID, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it was between COVID, and that's when our classes shifted to online. Right. I attended your crash course for like 15 lectures or so of economics.
The my first questions program that we ran at Next IAS.
Yes, sir. My whole economics notes are made from that program itself.
Thank you. I say thank you because you give me confidence that, okay, it's going good. I was talking to Kanika also the other day. She is 9th rank. She said almost similar things. So, people like you give people like us some good confidence that, okay, we are doing something right.
Yes, so your off syllabus talks, like, they were really, really good. That everything that you talked in class, whatever you said about being kind to people, when you are in service, what you should do, those were really inspiring things, sir.
I'm sure you will be. So how was the preparation initially? COVID का तो रहा ही होगा काफी एक dilapidating effect, वो तो रहता ही है. तो बाकी कैसे चल रहा था? How were you prepared? क्योंकि उस साल मुझे याद है प्रीलिम्स पे शिफ्ट हो रहा था बार बार. It was getting shifted. तो अनसर्टेनिटी से कैसे डील कर रहे थे, संस्कृति, ये बताओ.
सर एक्चुअली आई शुड नो, कोविड एक तरह से मेरे लिए थोड़ा वो हो गया कि आई वाज सिक फ्रॉम December 19 to May 2020. So I would not have given the prelims if it was not delayed. So it was delayed. Then I prepared for 3 months. then gave prelims, then prepared for 3 months only for mains,
Right.
and then gave mains and then interview. So that was my first attempt. So that whole COVID thing, yes, it took a pressure, but there was a lot of positive things I
This is
should
kind
say
of,
for.
yes. तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा हो गया एक तरह से.
Yes, sir.
Right. And so to begin with, Sanskriti, tell me this. The two things, three things I'll ask you, basic things, क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूँ सभी जो हमें सुन रहे हैं, they should get benefited by that. तो एक बात पहली, that what would you advise somebody starting to prepare, जो शुरुआत कर रहे हैं अपनी प्रिपरेशन की, जब भी उनके मन में आए that okay, I want to be a civil servant, what would you suggest? What should be the beginning point? What should students do?
तो सबसे पहले सिलेबस देखें, सिलेबस देखने के बाद थोड़ा सा पीवाईक्यू देखें. पीवाईक्यू से हमें फर्स्ट टाइम में कुछ समझ, मे बी माइट नॉट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग, एनी वर्ड. आई वाज नॉट अ ह्यूमैनिटीज बैकग्राउंड पर्सन, सो आई कुड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग. But then the classes started. When I started the classes, when I started the reading the basic books, like there are set books for Lakshmi, for polity there is Lakshmikant, for polity there is a 11th class NCRT, for economics also there are NCRTs. So started when you start reading those and you read the PYQs, you get a PYQs is like a Google Maps for UPSC.
Right.
And then you attend classes. People, I used to revise a lot. So initially you have to give a lot of time to revision for the class notes, because that will give you a basic confidence when you're reading the newspaper, and all things will get connected after initially 2-3 months of hard work. That will be more tougher time. I will say, because it उस टाइम पे चीजें थोड़ी कम समझ में आती है. द हिंदू पढ़ने में 3 hours लग जाते थे शुरू में. Then
Correct.
now it has come to 45 minutes, but you have to persevere through that time.
मतलब शुरुआत के 2-3 महीने you have to be patient and build up your basics, and then I think things become gradually better for the student.
Yes, sir.
Right. And so for prelims, normally what would you suggest the approach should be? About how many test papers people should solve if they are solving it? तुमने कितना किया, कैसे करते थे?
Sir, I actually solved very less number of papers, because in my first prelims there was lesser time. So I solved around 7-8 paper in first prelims, and then this prelims around 10-15 papers. But whatever number you solve, it doesn't matter. Some people solve 20 papers, some people solve 100 papers. You have to take maximum things out of one paper itself. How much questions you are attempting, how many questions you are giving wrong, of which subject, how many questions you are attempting wrong. Then you will know which are your weak areas.
Right. Well said. Correct. And so when it comes to mains preparation and answer writing, how did you, what will you suggest for answer writing? What will be a better approach when it comes to mains exam?
So I'll say first, like when the 2-3-4 months of things and you read almost all the basic book at least, then you should start then people should start the answer writing, because from day one one should not do that.
कोई फायदा भी नहीं है.
So, and PYQ is a good way to go. It's like one should start from 2013, because after that the pattern got changed. Before I did not solve any paper before 2013, neither for prelims nor for mains. And about optional as well, one should do the optional coaching in the July-December cycle, because that's the best cycle that one get to know about the answer writing, and the optionals add a lot of knowledge to GS answer writing as well.
Right.
Especially for the first timers.
Right.
So daily I used to do it from some of the free initiative, 3 or 4 questions every day. Gradually I started that, because 3 questions a day, it doesn't get. So one can do from any place. That's from any place, or PYQ is the best source.
Perfect. And how about the interview preparation? How would you suggest, what should be done between mains and interview time to make it more useful?
So one thing, just after mains, one can take a 10-15 days break. Then what I did was, in my first mains, I started for next attempt, because and also the interview also, because after interview results are announced, there is a very lesser time for preparing either for interview or for next mains if one has to write the next mains. So both things one can do, and between mains and interview, one should also develop the hobbies, because personality development, like for me, they asked a lot of questions around my hobby in my interview.
So one should choose hobbies carefully before writing it in the TAF, isn't it? Sometimes I see people randomly writing hobbies.
Yes, sir, one should definitely, because everything in your DAF, even from day one of preparation, one should think of oneself as an officer. Even when we are dealing with anyone in our even personal life, how will we behave if we are a if we're an IAS officer? How will we tackle this problem? We face a lot of problems during the preparation.
And one more thing, Sanskriti, how about managing stress? What would you do?
So I used to call my friends, or I would read something. I once I did a case study. I wrote what is the problem I'm facing. Then I solved it like a ethics case study, pros, cons, and what is the conclusion. 2 3 days I did that, and gradually it's sank in. No, this is my goal, and I'm not alone in this journey. I'm not alone who is facing stress. Everyone is facing stress. And when I'm becoming IS officer, I'm actually marrying with stress.
Right. There is a lot of thing to do. Like right now, the journey has just begun. तो ये बात तुम्हारी बिल्कुल सही है कि अभी तो स्ट्रेस की शुरुआत है. Like preparation stress is nothing compared to what people face as officers, no doubt. And I think you
The
must have
friends,
seen social work
family,
very closely.
yes, and friends or family, we should not get very isolated from everyone. We should
Right.
keep in contact with our friends and family.
So that's another important point you make. ये जो लोग हिंदी में सुनना चाहते हैं, मैं ट्रांसलेट कर रहा हूँ कि अपने दोस्तों से, अपने परिवार से खुद को बहुत अलग मत कीजिए. आइसोलेशन में रहने की जरूरत नहीं है. एंड करेक्ट, यू आर नॉट बिकमिंग अ मंक, यू आर बिकमिंग अ सिविल सर्वेंट. तो उसके लिए मुझे नहीं लगता कि आपको हिमालय पे जाने की जरूरत है. आई थिंक ऑन एन एवरेज इफ यू कीप स्टडीइंग कंसिस्टेंटली, आई थिंक इट्स क्वाइट अ डूएबल exam, isn't it?
Yes,
And
yes, sir.
so, Sanskriti, tell me one more thing. Any particular methodology you would follow as a book list or something for your GS, or you would follow the standard books like Lakshmikant, etc. itself?
So I followed the standard book list, but I what I did was revising them rather than after every prelims. A lot of people give advices that prelims question came from this book. I did not fell for that. Basic books, just revise, revise, and revise those basic books.
Right.
And I did not read anything which I knew that I cannot read it twice or thrice.
And how would you suggest that when it comes to preparing, I mean, balancing between optional and GS between mains? What will be your standard suggestion, संस्कृति के जैसे मेंस के मतलब प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के बीच में टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट तो होता है काफी. तो कैसे, जैसे अभी कल प्रीलिम्स हो जाएगा इस बार के बच्चों के लिए, तुम लोग तो मुक्त हो गए इस जीवन मरण के चक्र से. सो यू गाइस आर फ्री नाउ. लेकिन जो लोग कल दे रहे हैं, मान लो अब परसों वो तुम्हें सुनेंगे 1 मिनट के लिए, ऐसा मान लें. So what would be your advice that what should people do after their prelims? What should they take a break, or should it be something taken as a continuous cycle that ठीक है मेंस तक पढ़ लो और फिर ब्रेक ले लो एक ही बार 10-15 दिन का? What kind of suggestion would you give?
Yes, sir, I will strictly advise against going into any trips. Like 2 दिन का break ले लो maximum.
Right.
चाहे 2 दिन पूरा सो लो, 2 दिन कुछ भी break लो, but उसके बाद it should be a continuous cycle, because when we take a break of 7 days or till the result come, it's gone. It's long gone then. But balancing between GS and optional, we have to decide according to our weaknesses.
Okay.
If one has completed the optional comfortably, then one can give more time to GS preparation. What I did was I divided it 50-50%, because my optional was a very comprehensive, very large optional. It is a long optional, so I had to give 50-50%.
But you had completed your optional beforehand, so I think it must be only revision that you must be doing.
Yes, sir. I did the test series once before even my first mains. I did the test series. I completed this. Even 50% of my whole coaching was over. My notes were prepared. 50% of revision was done. 50% was left. A smaller part of that was left, and then I did it between pre and mains.
Okay. Okay. One more thing, Sanskriti, how would you suggest people can approach current affairs in UPSC? बस कभी-कभी मैं ये देखता हूँ, तुम मुझसे डिफर कर सकते हो, but मैं ये देखता हूँ that sometimes I see people over stressing on current affairs, sometimes missing the basics. मतलब जैसे fiscal deficit का definition नहीं सीखा, लेकिन उसके बारे में सारा आर्टिकल पढ़ लिया. So that's something that sometimes worries me, that unless you don't understand. But what would be your suggestion? How much time can be given to current affairs? फॉर अ फर्स्ट टाइमर, पहले बार में ज्यादा देना पड़ता है, तो पहली बार में भी कितना दें, लेकिन हाउ शुड वन ट्राई दिस?
सर आपने बहुत ज्यादा सही बात बोली. दिस हैपेंस. दिस सो न्यूज़पेपर, आई यूज्ड टू रीड वन न्यूज़पेपर प्रीलिम्स तक, द हिंदू, प्रीलिम्स के बाद इंटरव्यू तक इंडियन एक्सप्रेस. सो द हिंदू में जितना टाइम लगेगा बस उतना, उसमें से ऐसे और एथिक्स के लिए मैं एग्जांपल नोट कर लेती थी बाकी नोट्स नहीं बनाती थी किसी भी कोचिंग का, क्योंकि मंथली अफेयर आता है, करंट अफेयर्स आता ही है,
Right.
देन
And they are
ईयर
doing
एंड
the
पे,
hard work.
यस, सो व्हाई शुड आई डू दैट, एंड
True.
दे आर डूइंग इट बेटर देन व्हाट आई एम डूइंग। तो एंड में जो उनका ईयरली कंपाइलेशन आता है कोचिंग्स का, वो मैं पढ़ती थी।
True.
सो दैट वाज माय अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स करंट अफेयर्स, एंड इंटरव्यू के लिए डिफरेंट था।
हाँ, इंटरव्यू ऑफ कोर्स इज डिफरेंट। इंटरव्यू तो फिर ज्यादा थोड़ा पढ़ना ही पड़ता है, बिकॉज दैट इज ऑन व्हाट योर पर्सनालिटी इज टेस्टेड। हाउ वाज योर इंटरव्यू लाइक, संस्कृति? व्हाट है दिस ईयर, कैसा था? हाउ डिड यू गो अबाउट इट?
The interviews are actually very interesting. They started from my hobby. My hobby involves around eco-friendly things and minimalistic lifestyle. So the chairman, Smita Nagaraj ma'am, she asked me, "What do you do in this hobby?" So I mentioned about food wastage reduction. She went on about it. How did you motivate people? I said by telling them data of everyday food wastage that they're doing. So then she asked me, which no one earlier asked me. So you think guilt is a good way to do behavioral change? I was like, oh. Then I said, no, ma'am. I think data is a good way to show people how they are wasting things. Then she asked, how will I use this in administration? Then there was sports in my DAF volleyball. Then they asked about sports promotion and how will promote sports other than cricket for girls. Then a lot of discussion was around discrimination, any kind of girl, gender discrimination, caste discrimination. Then about IIT education subsidization. I went to quota for IIT education. So they asked me, there was a very extreme statement by the interview person that, so you think that our education system has completely failed us. So this is where we have to be very alert that one has to not take an extreme situation of anything.
Right.
So I accepted, yes, there are problems, but it's not, I am the product of this education system.
So there is no complete failure. True.
But I think for interview, my whole preparation helped in my interview.
Yes.
During my whole preparation, the demeanor that I took, how I conducted myself with my friends, even for interview, we did a lot of discussion. Even with you, I did discussed about Goldman Sachs and the financial crisis.
Yes.
So those things helps a lot.
Right. And how was the experience attaching yourself to Next IAS, Sanskriti? What was all it about? Give me an honest assessment.
So with Next IAS, I did the crash course of yours, and I was with the interview experience program of first time the interview experience program and also interview program this year. So for both the interview guidance program, especially for the engineers, it's very good because there is nothing else, and also the support given by the engineering faculty is really good, and the everyday questions that Next IAS team gives on the telegram channels, in some issues I did not refer to it whole, but in some issues when I wanted some questions, I referred to it, and the teachers were you were available all the time, Ruchika ma'am was available all the time, even B Singh sir gave me a very personal mentorship as well. He asked me to his office, he told me how to prepare about interview. So this was my experience with Next IAS.
So good. Then that keeps us on right toes that we are going in right direction. Actually, the feedback we get from you helps us improve. So ये question का purpose बस यही होता है कि एक feedback मिल जाता है आप लोगों से। तुम्हारे केस में बात अलग है, since we are connected for some time, तो तुमसे तो मैं वैसे भी फोन पे पूछ सकता हूँ that how it was. But I just thought that it just came to my mind. So Sanskriti, how is the future looking like? एक क्या aim है दिमाग में करना IAS बनने के बाद?
सब अभी तो एक्साइटमेंट है कि बस सब कुछ जल्दी से कुछ करें, थोड़ा ब्रेक भी चाहिए वैसे, अगस्त एंड तक जो ब्रेक मिलेगा
बिल्कुल चाहिए। I hope that we can see you in the felicitation program in Delhi.
Yes sir, I think I will be there.
Perfect.
So Baki sir, I am very passionate about environment as well as the social justice thing and the climate movement that India is being the leader now. So to be the part of service in this 25 years of us being developed, it's a huge pleasure.
Yes, I can't tell you. Even I am equally excited that most of you whom we have in some ways contributed will be at top almost 20-25 years down the line when India would be becoming a developed nation. Because I'm very hopeful as an economist also that we will be a developed nation in another 25 years. I have a full faith. I have full faith in this whole thing that is going on right now. And with people like you, I feel actually very happy and blessed that I get to interact with all of you It's actually wonderful.
Thanks. So your demeanor, like how you mentioned about controversial topics, farm laws. There were a lot of emotions going on. But how you made that 1 hour, 1.5 hours video, I made my non-UPSC CSE friends watch that to calm down the debate. Like see, and they are now following you for the major economic things because I said them that sir has a very neutral perspective.
Yes.
He speaks only for India, not for anyone.
Right, right. That is what we are here for, no? That it's all about country. Somebody once had asked me about something. India लौट के क्यों आ गए? मैंने उनको ये कहा था मेरे को भाई माँ के थोड़े पैसे कम है माँ के पास तो माँ को छोड़ते थोड़ी ही है. So you don't leave your mother if she is not well off. But anyways ये तो खैर मेरी बात करने की जगह नहीं है. तुम लोग अभी grow करते रहो and I bless you a lot of success, Sanskriti. And I hope whenever you are in Delhi, we get to meet in person.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Extend
Sir.
our good wishes to your parents also. आप लोगों के साथ अगर कोई और खुशी होता है तो वो हम लोग और आपके पेरेंट्स मैं होपफुली उनसे भी मिलूंगा कभी जरूर अगर वो दिल्ली आए तो जरूर लेकर आओ वी विल मीट इट इज ऑलवेज वंडरफुल टू बी अटैच्ड
Thank you, sir. Thank you to you. Thank you to B Singh, sir, for such a personal mentorship given to me. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Sanskriti. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.